Hi everybody, Josh Denny here. About to start our Wednesday evening webinar. Here 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern. It's an honor to be with you all here this evening. Anyway, tonight I want to talk about the questions that you'd ask people to help them get started, to help them find a way to get involved with the opportunity here at Seacret. And I'm talking about personalities. I'm talking about some books that I would recommend you read to help you, kind of be on the way to becoming a master networker. A lot of it is asking questions to people. So let me first start off by, for those of you that I haven't had the privilege of meeting yet, my name is Josh Denny. We do these webinars every week, every Wednesday, to help you build your business, help you understand a little bit more about networking and how to be successful, period. Not just here in Seacret, but I believe that these principles will help you succeed anywhere you go, as they have myself and most of the people I know that have learned these principles and actually applied them. There's a lot of people who know them, very few actually apply and apply consistently. And we know that the only way to get better is to apply consistently over a period of time. So allow yourself that, allow yourself the time. If you're brand new to this type of business, know that it may take longer than you hope it to take, although sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it can go a lot faster. But my experience often is that it does take a good amount of time. Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, talks about 10,000 hours, that if you want to be an expert in anything, you got to invest about 10,000 hours into that project. And it's better when it's condensed. That's typically about 5 years. 5 years, put in all you got, you'll get 10,000 hours. Some people do it faster than that. Okay? But the good news is you don't have to master this business to make a fortune in it. But you do have to master it to really know and understand it, I believe, and to be a top performer. The good news is in our type of profession, you can actually become fortunate. You can get lucky. And the good news is that also, on top of it, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And let me kind of explain what I mean. It's often times that when I've interviewed people that have made a lot of money in this business, often, it was, yes, they worked hard. Yes, they got in the trenches and did it. But more often than not, they got lucky. They found somebody who went and really did it. Or they found someone who found someone who found someone, and they found somebody that had just had white hot burning desire inside them, and they made it happen. And they did that, maybe a couple lines of sponsorship, and they were able to succeed because they stuck in long enough. Now, I've met a lot of those same people who did it one time who could never redo it again because they didn't get lucky again. They had to learn the skill set, and they failed to learn the skill set simply because they had such huge success seemingly so quickly with seemingly little effort. And as a result, they stopped becoming a student. But I've discovered in almost every area of life. You think about most people in America who, once they graduated high school or college, they never really picked up a book again. It was the first and last time they picked up a book was senior year. After that, they said, forget this, school's out, no more books for me. And they stopped learning. Maybe they got into a particular career and they started to learn that career and to be the best in that particular the role or whatever it is that they were playing for the company or for their own particular small business. My suggestion to you is never stop learning. There's a couple of great books, and one is the Psychology of Persuasion. Okay, this is a great book. Kevin Hagen right here is Mr. Hogan. It's a great book. Persuade others to your way of thinking. I would encourage you to get this book. Another book is Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye. Again, Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye. And I can't find my copy here. But that is a great book. Again, Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye. I would say also Influence by Robert Cialdini. Influence. That's a great book. So I'd encourage you to start there with a couple of those books. In fact, one of the great all-time books that I love is a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I've got actually one of the original hard copies. I think this is maybe the third edition or whatnot, hard copy. This is back in, I'm not exactly certain when, but they sold it for $6.99. So figure this was quite some time ago. And I got this out of the Paul Meyer Library. One of my favorite books. In fact, I would encourage you to not only get the book, read it, but get an audio and then listen to the audio and listen to it till you memorize it. It's really talking about how to influence people. And really it just talks about being, being a good listener. That's kind of what I want to talk about today, is being a good listener. And there's an old saying where the questions are the answers. Really, if you want to find the answer, ask the questions. Was it Socrates that really did it best? He just asked questions, nonstop asking questions, and wasn't afraid to question everything. Not question it in a way to try to point it out. Sometimes people are questioning things to point out the wrong or just to object, but really seeking answers and seeking questions. So when you're sitting down with a person, a prospect, someone sitting next to you on the plane or the bus or wherever, you're a coworker at work that you're having lunch with, someone that you meet at a party or at a social gathering, whatever the case may be, and a lot of people have reunions coming up, either high school or family, whatever. Ask the questions. In order to be interesting to someone else, you've got to be interested in them. Let me say that one more time. In order to truly be interesting to someone else, you've got to be interested in them. People, and you've heard the saying, all these cliches, but they're so true. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And if you kind of followed me with that, it. It's true. The people that you and I care about, the people that you and I will do almost anything for, the people that you and I, when we're around them, feel better, we give those people influence in our life. Isn't it true? I mean, think about it. The person who's interested in us, sincerely, they're not just waiting their turn to talk. I've heard this often said, that a conversation is typically just two people waiting their turn to talk. Everyone has something to say. And have you ever done that? You want to say something, you're waiting for that person to stop talking because you want to tell them what you want to tell them. You're not really listening. You're almost like listening just to get through it so you can say what you want to say, so you can seem amazing or whatever. People, we all pick up on this. What's interesting, though, is when you find the man or the woman who truly listens to you, who's interested in what you have to say, and is asking you questions. That's the person typically we want to be around more. Why? Because it feels good. Also, using their name more often. If you use their name a lot, they're going to like you more. I've heard it said that the sound of someone's name is the loveliest and sweetest music to their ears. So use their name. I'm going to give you a few tips here. Use someone's name. Ask them questions. Now, what do you ask questions about? There's an old format that's been used for decades, and I can't think of a better one. And they say if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'll share it with you. You may have already heard it before. It's called FORM, right? F-O-R-M. FORM, F-O-R-M. It's an acronym, and it stands for family. F is for family. O is for occupation. R is for recreation, and M is looking for the motivation. You're looking for what motivates somebody, what drives them, what pushes them into action. Is it money? Is it cause driven? Is it family oriented? Is it travel? It's usually one of those four. Okay, it may be prestige. How they're looked at with their peers. The status. These are things that drive people. And what you're trying to do, if you want to lead someone, is find out what drives them. Find out what's important to them. Okay, so how do you do that? Very simple. Ask them questions. If you and I are engaged in a conversation, I may ask you, so how's the family life? Are you married? Now, again, it may vary from person to person, meaning a single man or even a married man shouldn't ask a single woman that. Besides the ring, it may give the wrong impression, and vice versa with women to men. Okay, so typically you may want to start with something else about, maybe start with occupation. So you don't necessarily have to start with the F, but you may want to get to it. So if I'm talking with a woman, I may ask about what she does. Now, what do you do? And sometimes people answer just a one word question. Oh, I'm a secretary. Okay, well, I like secretary for a big company, for, I mean, like, maybe a personal assistant too. And I'll ask two questions about the same thing. So here's my tip on this. Two questions about the same thing. I'm trying to pull out answers to them. If they are reluctant to answer, okay, I'll move on. Now, one of the next questions I'll ask about employment is, well, what do you like about what you do? I mean, is there something you love about it? And if they, again, one word short answers, I try to move on to something that may ignite a flame in them. So I say, okay, well, there's something like you to do for fun. What do you do when you're not working? You know, what do you do for fun? And then they light up. Oh, you know, I love to be on the river. I love to boat. It's like fun. I love fishing. I love whatever. And then you can start asking more questions about that. Okay, and then you can circle back around to family. Do you do that with your family? Yeah, my brothers and sisters. So you have kids? No, I don't have kids. Okay, and I'm going to leave it open at that. Now, if they have kids, oh, great. You know, your children, how old are they? There's the answer. Okay, what do they like to do? Try to ask as many questions as you can about them. You're trying to get a picture of who they are. Now, why are you trying to do that? Because we're not trying to recruit someone into our business. Many people, unfortunately, have this shallow idea of, I'm going to go recruit someone. Like, I'm going to go hunt them. I'm going to go hunt them and recruit them into my business. Well, that's just not going to work out for you real well. Okay? Look, no one wants to be recruited. I mean, think about it. Do you want to be hunted? Do you want to be recruited into something? Of course you don't. But how would you like to start a business? Open a business for you, for your future, and for your family. Thank you so much. How would you like that? How would you like the opportunity to travel the world, to enjoy your life, to be able to take your family or those that you love anywhere in the world without having to think about the cost? How would you like to do that? How would you like to be able to give to any charity or any cause that you feel worthy, that you feel is worthy of your time and your energy? Not just to give money. Of course you could do that, but to be able to go travel to that location, to be able to maybe build that church or build that school with your own hands, to give not only of your money, of your time. Anywhere in the world you'd like to do that. How would you like an opportunity to do that while all your bills are paid at home and you don't have to worry about it? You know, how would you like to be able to live in a nicer home? You know, drive nicer cars. You know, have no debt whatsoever. Not be under the subjugation or subject of any man or woman. Under no thumb. No one can tell you when to show up to work, or you're fired if you don't come in. You know, to take a vacation for 6 months and make more money while you're gone than when you did when you were there. How would you like that? I'd imagine if someone really believed that was possible, no matter what the answer was, it would be yes. No matter what their idea of what it would be, they'd say, absolutely, I would love to do that. As long as I don't have to violate my moral code or, you know, do something illegal, I would. What are you talking about? What could give me that? You see, when I'm talking to someone, I'm trying to find what drives them by asking them questions about themselves, about their family, about their occupation, about their recreation. And if you ask them questions and questions about questions, it'll be very simple to start to figure out what's important to them. And if you can show them how Seacret can help them get to what's important in their life, they'll sign up. They'll sign up if they can see truly in their mind that Seacret is a company that can help them get to what they want in their life. You won't have to ask them to sign up. They'll ask you. They'll say, when can I get started? You know, how much is it? 5, 10,000, 20,000? I don't care what it is. That's what I want in my life. If they believe it. Again, they're only going to believe it if you actually care enough about them to truly listen to them, and in your heart desire that for them as well. You've heard Zig Ziglar say this, and probably a lot of other people. They say, help enough other people get what they want, and you'll have everything you want. And for years, I heard that, and I just dismissed it. It's like, that's one of those cliches. But then as I started to do this exercise, as I started to ask people about them, as I started to find out what's important to them, I started to realize what it was. Man, and it would fill me with this hope that I wanted them to get there. I wanted them to achieve that. And I wanted to help them get there. And in that desire and in that pursuit, as I started helping more and more people achieve their goals, their dreams, their aspirations, I didn't have to worry about my own. They were automatically met. The key in this one, though, is don't get so hung up on their dreams that you forget about your own. Meaning this, some people, my friends, no matter how hard you work for them, no matter how bad you want it, no matter how much you listen, are just not going to do it. Why is that? I have no idea. I wish I did. It's like, I don't know why the sun, rises and sets the way it does. I have no idea. All I know is that's the way it is. Why is the ocean blue and the sky? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it all works. I just know it is. And one other thing I know that is most people just aren't going to do it for whatever reason. And it's not for you to decide. It's not for me to decide. Some seeds planted in the ground just never grow. They don't grow. Why is that? It's another mystery in life, right? I don't know. You could water. I mean, for some farmers, they plant during the season many, many seeds, fields of seeds. They cultivate and they cultivate. And sometimes the locusts come and take away the harvest. There's an infection in the field. There's something that happens that goes wrong, and they lose out on most or if not all of their harvest. Does that mean that planting's a bad idea? No, it's just sometimes that happens. But guess what you do the next season? You plant again. And chances are excellent, you'll have a harvest. The more you plant, the more you'll win. So as you're talking with people, as you're working with people, again, some people I've been able to recruit took years and years and years. And only after I got to know them and I really understood them and they cared about me and I cared about them and we were friends first. It wasn't about the business. It wasn't about getting them into something. Again, that's the mindset of most amateur networkers. They're amateur because they're trying to get them into their business. Let me recruit you into my business so I can rank it there, so I can get paid, so I can make money. Folks, nobody wants that, okay? The true masters, they know the only way they're going to get to where they want to go is by helping other people. And the only way they're going to be able to help other people is find out what they really want. Find out what really help is for them. Maybe it isn't just talking about making a certain amount of money. Most people don't even realize what that is. I certainly didn't. All I knew is I wanted to be free, and I had people willing to help me do it. And as they helped me do it, they made a fortune along the way. The same thing's going to happen for you, my friends. The same exact thing. You've just got to be willing to do it. So ask questions. Ask questions about the questions, okay? Find out what's important to somebody else. Do that consistently, and you'll find out what motivates them. And there's a personality book. It's by Jerry DeRhino Clark. I'd encourage you to buy that. I don't know the website, but if you type Jerry Rhino Clark or D Rhino Clark into a search engine, he has a color tape CD. Buy it. It talks about the 4 colors: reds, blues, yellows, and greens. We'll get into that more probably next week. I'll go into that personality zones and how to treat each personality. In fact, the reason I wanted to do it this week, but I'm missing a link for it's a little survey that you can fill out at home. I'm going to give to you. It was a course I took many years ago. Taken this test many times. I spent a fortune on it. And next week, if you're on the webinar, we'll have a link there, and you can download it. And I'll give it to you at no cost whatsoever. And I'll go through it with the manual on really what color group you're in. And by knowing what color group you're in and being able to find out what color groups other people are in, you'll be able to find out how better to lead them, what other questions to start asking, how to help them in a different way. And we're gonna do that next week. So be sure to tune in next week, next Wednesday. We'll make a big deal out of it. But that's all I have for this week. Ask questions. Care about other people first, okay? And you'll start to become a professional in this business model. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go some questions. So if you haven't done, like it or type in the box. If you haven't liked us on Facebook, please do so. Like us on Facebook so you can keep up with the updates. And I will go to these questions and answers. Give me a second, folks. All right. Hey, Jeff McDonald, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Well, at least not see you, but see that you wrote something in here. Miss you. Brad M., I'm sure you're here too. Brad and Tim, love you guys. Happy Wednesday to the Flynn family. Guess I'll be seeing you guys in a few weeks for Brittany's wedding. I'm excited about that. If a person wants to sign up for $49 starter kit, would you sign that person up as an agent? It depends. If they're just going to be a customer, I'd prefer not them be an agent. If they want to be a customer, better than be a customer for both them and you as an agent. As an agent, it doesn't serve your interest to sign up agent customers because for number one, because it's not in their best benefit. They don't get treated like a customer. They're treated now as a wholesaler. They don't get the same customer support service. It's a little percentage more that they get off as an agent, so it's not really worth the price point difference not to get the extra level of care that Seacret provides and the extra gifts and incentives. It compensates for itself well over. Additionally, as an agent, you don't make the same money. If you sign me up as a customer, you're making 20 to 25% on my sales. If you sign me up as an agent, you're not making any money, at least in the beginning, and maybe not for a while. So it's not advantageous unless that person really wants to be an agent and build a business and they just don't have any money and they can't borrow it. I mean, that was a situation for me. Quite frankly, I had to borrow the $49. I couldn't get a kit. I had to borrow someone's products. I worked my tail off. Within a month, I could buy my own products, and I bought a special agent set, and I started working the business. But, so it depends on them. And again, I gave you a formula on how to find out, right? Ask questions. Ask questions. What's important to them. If they don't have the money, ask them, if you were to get the money, or if you could find a way, what would that way be? If you really had to, if there was a gun against your head that if you don't get $2,000 by midnight tonight, you're dead or your family's dead, what would you do? And find out. Now, if they're going to say something crazy and illegal, get that out of their head. But the reality is that if they really want to find a way, they can. Okay. And even if they can just get in at 49 right now, they're going to have to find a way to get some products. They're going to have to find a way to get in front of people. So that's the answer I'd have. And I'd help them. Again, if they're brand new, guys, your job as a professional is, if you recruit me and I only have $49, I don't have any of the money. Your goal is to find everyone I know as fast as possible and meet them and do the presentation on my behalf or with and more. Looking for the right word. The best case scenario is you do it with me. You show it with me. Okay. Some of the books I was recommending, I recommended the Psychology of Persuasion by Kevin Hogan. Psychology of Persuasion. Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Robert Cialdini. And I believe Influence by Robert Cialdini were the books I recommended. Again, Influence by Robert Cialdini. The Psychology of Persuasion by Kevin Hogan. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, and Why We Act the Way We Do by Tim LaHaye. Hope that helps. Not too many questions this evening, so I'm going to wrap this up here real shortly and promote the Vision Cast. We have got an incredible Vision Cast lined up. We've got the one and only Tracy Zimmer. We've got Lisa Lewis and perhaps her husband Adam are going to be on, which I'm very excited about. Great, phenomenal human beings. And a couple other guest speakers that we're lining up. So it's going to be a dynamite call. We're going to be diving into these guys are some of the fastest growing agents in the company. They're building a massive organization. They're doing exceedingly well. So we want you to hear from them. And they'll share their tips of what they're doing, how they're doing it. So this Sunday night's Vision Cast is not to be missed. Make sure you get every agent under the sun on it. We're going to have an exciting time. Next week is going to be the colors. We're going to go through the color test personalities, understanding how they affect your business and how you can become a better enroller, a better sponsor in this business to help you build a massive distribution network by learning personalities and asking the right questions. Again, that'll be next Wednesday. Look forward to seeing you on the webcast then. Anyway, God bless, and I will wish you a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you.